The river never sleeps. It winds through the forest like a black serpent, reflecting the moonlight with an almost unnatural shimmer. The villagers say that at night, if you listen closely, the river whispers secrets. Secrets of love, of betrayal, of blood. And tonight, it had chosen its next listener. Long, long time ago, in a village nestled between the dense forests and the river's edge, there lived a young man named Kofi. Strong, brave, and kind-hearted, Kofi was known for his laughter that could chase away the heaviest of sorrows. Yet even in his youth, there was a loneliness that shadowed him, a longing he could not name, a desire that stirred whenever he stood by the riverbank. The elders whispered stories of Mamiwata, the mermaid of the river. Some claimed she was a spirit of beauty and wealth, drawing travelers with her singing voice. Others said she was a curse, claiming hearts and lives, drowning those foolish enough to fall in love with her. No villager dared cross the river alone at night, for her beauty was said to mask a darkness that could consume the soul. But Kofi did not believe in whispers. One evening, as the sun bled its last rays across the horizon, Kofi wandered to the river, carrying a basket of fresh yams to sell in the market. The forest was unusually silent. No cicadas, no rustle of leaves, not even the hoot of an owl. It was as if the world had paused. He reached the riverbank, where the water glistened silver under the rising moon. And then he heard it, a voice, soft, melodic, almost like the river itself was singing. Kofi. He froze. His heart raced. It wasn't a voice he recognized. It was feminine, ethereal, impossibly beautiful. His mind told him to run, to turn away, but curiosity, stronger than fear, rooted him to the spot. From the depths of the river, a figure emerged. She was unlike anything Kofi had ever seen. Her hair flowed like black silk, cascading over shoulders that shimmered with scales of deep sapphire and emerald. Her eyes glowed faintly under the moonlight, a light that seemed both inviting and dangerous. She smiled a smile that promised love, yet whispered doom. "I am Amina," she said, her voice a melody that danced with the wind. "I have watched you for many nights, Kofi. You have a heart untouched by greed, unbroken by sorrow. Will you come to me?" Something in Kofi stirred, a mixture of fear, longing, and a strange, intoxicating pull he could not resist. Who are you really?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "A river bride," she replied, her gaze piercing his soul. "I am the song of the river, the curse of those who seek me, and the love of one who dares." Kofi felt a chill, but also an inexplicable desire. He wanted to know her, to follow her into the water, yet something whispered caution. Every elder's tale, every whispered warning about the mermaid, echoed in his mind, and yet he could not look away. For hours, Kofi and Amina spoke. She told him stories of the river, of lovers who drowned for their desires, of hearts stolen and lives ended, of beauty that could kill. And in her voice, he heard both the sweetness of love and the darkness of death. As midnight approached, she extended her hand. "Come with me," she said, "and I will show you wonders beyond the forest, beyond this life. But know this, Kofi, love me, and you may never return. Leave me, and the river will remember." The river always remembers. Kofi hesitated, torn between the world he knew and the mysterious pull of the river bride. And as he reached for her hand, the wind howled through the trees, and the surface of the river began to shimmer with a strange, otherworldly light-casting shadows that danced like ghosts along the banks. Something deep within him whispered, this night would change everything. Little did he know, the river had already chosen him, and Amina's curse was far more entwined with his destiny than he could ever imagine. The moon hung high, casting a ghostly glow over the river. Kofi's hand trembled as it touched Amina's. The water was colder than he expected, yet somehow inviting, like the chill of a lover's caress. With a single breath, he stepped forward and the world around him shifted. The air grew thick, heavy with the scent of wet earth and something more, something ancient. As Kofi sank knee-deep into the river, the water seemed to embrace him, pulling him gently, irresistibly. Amina's eyes glimmered with a mixture of longing and something darker, something that made his pulse quicken with both desire and fear. "You are brave," she whispered, her voice curling around him like smoke. "Few dare to follow me. Fewer still survive the river's trials. But you are different." As he followed her further, the water rose to his chest and to his shoulders. And then, without warning, he realized he could breathe. The river no longer felt like a river. It felt like a realm apart from the world he had known, deeper, darker, and alive with a strange liquid luminescence. Fish with glimmering scales swam like shadows beneath the surface, and strange plants reached up, twisting in patterns that felt almost intentional, almost sentient. Kofi's heart raced, and yet he felt no fear, not yet. Instead, he was enthralled by Amina's beauty, by her voice, by the way the water seemed to bend around her, like it worshipped her. "You are mine now," she said softly, brushing her fingers across his cheek. "And I will show you love like no mortal has ever known. But love is not without its cost." A sudden shiver ran through Kofi. The air thickened. Shadows pooled beneath the water's surface, moving in unnatural, sinuous shapes. And then he heard them whispers, hundreds of them. Lovers, victims, souls long taken by the river, calling out in voices that were both pleading and accusing. Amina's smile faltered for the briefest moment, and in that instant, Kofi glimpsed the truth. This was no ordinary love story. This was a web of desire and death, passion and curse, spun across generations by the river itself. "You must swear," she said, her eyes locking onto his, "that you will never leave me, never betray the river, or its curse will claim your soul, and your blood will become part of the current, flowing forever with mine." Kofi swallowed, the weight of her words pressing on him. And yet, he wanted her. He wanted this forbidden, beautiful, terrifying love. "I swear," he said, the words tasting like fire and ice. Amina's lips curved into a triumphant smile. "Then come closer," she said, and the river seemed to pulse beneath them, alive with anticipation. He reached for her, and the water closed over them, swallowing the moonlight. For a moment, the world dissolved. There was only Amina, her eyes glimmering like molten sapphire, and the river, singing in whispers of blood and love. But love in the river's depths is never simple.